in with him on the phone today, and he said that he's a little upset with you because
why is he upset with you?
You like to tell other people what they're saying.
Okay, is he new here?
Jason?
I mean,
no
is
lies
he new
detected.
You like
no
to,
lies detected.
you like to hear things a little differently than what they're said as sometimes, and then you like to argue against that point that you've kind of molded and invented on your own.
You guys have takes, and then you pause, and you won't go where you want to go. So all I'm doing is clarifying. I didn't say you. I said yesterday, this is what you were leading into. You said it, then you reaffirmed it, and then you didn't like the backlash, so you decided to pull out of it. That's what happened.
If you check the tape, which I sent you, all you got to do is hit play. All you got to do is check the tape.
I will give you credit for that. I got a 3-minute clip sent to me this morning. So you definitely checked the tape.
Something tells me Tausch didn't watch it, because if he had watched it, he would see, and I put it out on the Wilde and Tausch Facebook page, my domain.
Oh, nobody goes there. You got to put it on the other channels.
You got to go there and help us with the official review today to see what.
You are afraid to put it on Twitter because you know you're going to get killed.
You're cooked. Yeah,
no,
you know you're going to get cooked.
Because I know you can't retweet things from Facebook because you don't Facebook. And so if you retweeted it on Twitter, you'd be like, look at Jelly saying Murph should get fired after winning 2 in a row. Gritty win last night. So we're avoiding. Yeah, this is a strategic play by me.
What is fair about that? I'm not on Facebook. So I would say I want Jesse to put it out there and say, did Jesse imply that Pat Murphy's job is on the line?
All right.
That's what I want to know.
So wait a minute. Wait. It is fair that he put it on Facebook as a self-preservation maneuver that you could not access. That's all I was saying. It was actually a very savvy move by him, because if he did post it on Twitter where you do have access, and while you cannot, you learned how to edit yesterday with your blue check mark. Move. You did that.
Big step.
Still not making poll questions, but you definitely know how to retweet something with a snarky or draw attention remark that would get him cooked by many a Brewers fan. And maybe some would agree with him.
I'm not, listen, man.
That's what he's concerned about.
I don't think anyone would agree, because I don't agree.
Jesse, just for the record, I'm not interested in cooking you. I'm interested in just putting your meal out there to see if people are eating. You put something out that was interesting, and now you're so scared you don't want to just own it. And as a content creator, which is what you want to be, and a play-by-play, you want to have that, you got to go. Now you're backtracking. Oh, I didn't say that. You brought it up to your friends. Your friends didn't bring it up to you.
All I said at the end of yesterday's show.
Play it. Play the audio, and let's let our audience tell us.
Before you play it, private talk and text line from
Because Jesse, in fairness, there are going to be people that agree with you. There are.
I don't think there will be. I don't think there's one person in the Brewers universe who is saying Pat Murphy is coaching for his job suddenly. I don't agree with that. I don't think anyone else is saying that.
Well, they gave up a 3-run homer and almost lost to the Orioles last night. People were thinking,
we're not going to fire the manager because they gave up a lead in the 7th inning to the Orioles, and they ended up winning the game anyway, so it was fine. But we're not going to fire the manager for that.
All right. Josh and Heartland on the private talk and text line. I'm calling for Jesse's job.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
Pretty good, Joshy.
All right. I think, in fairness to all parties, including Pat Murphy, frankly, but also to Jesse, I do think we should hashtag check the tape. I do think we should play it. And maybe Tausch, as he has been known to do from time to time, occasionally, is putting words into someone else's mouth that they did not actually say. Let's judge that by listening to it again. Jesse, can you cue that up?
I can, yeah. So
can you play the video?
Can you edit it a little bit? It's a little long-winded. Can we chop it a little bit?
I'll leave your
he's
mics
never
on.
happy.
You
He's
yell.
never happy.
You just say stop when you want. You put up the stop sign
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
All right.
Like
I
the
like
great
that.
third base
I like
coach that you are.
I would like to play it long enough for everyone to recognize that you're actually calling for Murph's job more than I'm calling for Murph's job in this 3-minute clip.
Boy, this is
God,
sweet.
I love how this is such a great inside look at the producers behind the scenes that are always pushing and trying to get clicks and doing all this stuff. And then when they just, because they don't want to take the heat, they don't want
Get
that
out
fire
the
under their
kitchen.
feet. All right, let's hear it, Jesse. Let's go.
This is from Wonelli yesterday at approximately 11:51 a.m. Central Time.
Closer to 11:58, I think, but yes.
All right, I just want to bring one thing up here before we move on from Wonelli. I brought this up on Saturday, and some of our teammates, we were out at a little event. We were all golfing the other night.
Just wait,
and,
pause.
At like
Pause.
the range place.
Oh, no, already
Pause.
we just started.
We got Evan at 9:30. Keep it
Jesse
moving here.
just said, I brought this up. He didn't say friends brought it up or
Yes.
Usher George brought
I brought
He just
it up.
said, Jesse J. Nelson, brought this up. Okay, continue.
I fully admit I am the one who brought it up. I'm not suggesting this, but when I brought this notion up, I got
But he brought it up.
stares. Like, how dare you? And I
So,
don't think
pause,
that's reasonable.
Pause. When you're
We're
not
never gonna
suggesting
get
this,
through
but,
this if you keep pausing them.
well, because this is the critical point of this. Then he starts backtracking once he smelt the little heat
I
under his
haven't
tires.
said anything yet. I was just setting up
Jason,
the setting. And
he
I
has
brought it
just
up.
said,
anything
I'm
yet.
not suggesting it, but I brought it up. Is that not suggesting it?
No.
Isn't it? Jason?
No, not yet.
How many times have you brought
Oh,
something
my
up on this
God.
show without suggesting
All right,
it?
Hey, just let's play the tape a little
No,
further, please.
I can see this. I already see how this is unfolding. Go ahead.
I can
I'm not
see
gonna
what's
pause anymore.
happening.
How long do we give reigning NL Manager of the Year, Pat Murphy, to figure this thing out before we start to question him the same way we question Fickle, LaFleur, Doc,
You are
and
All
the rest?
6 of the Bucks coaches they've
You
had.
are-
the last
I'm
3
not
years.
saying it.
Dude, stop doing my
I'm-
shtick.
I'm
not saying, but I'm saying you're saying it.
I
That
am
is
not
Tausch's
saying-
stick. It is trademarked, I believe.
I
What
am
are
not
you
say-
saying?
I'm not-
Stop saying what you're not saying. Tell me what you are saying.
I would like to know. We don't have many reigning coaches of the year in Wisconsin sports. It doesn't happen that often. LaFleur's never won it, right?
Correct.
How long do you give a leash for someone who's the reigning coach of the year when your team is getting shut out 3 out of 4 games and has had one of the worst offensive months maybe in franchise history that they're on
He's
pace
got
for?
a long lever here. I think the interesting part was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was he making commentary about, again, social media, sometimes I don't know what's true and false. Was he making commentary about how much money was spent this offseason by a certain management?
Yes, he did.
I did
When
hear
you
that.
start going down that road, things can get interesting.
And we know
real
the
quick.
manager in waiting is Ricky Weeks. They hired him last year. He's going to take over whenever Murph
So,
does step
are
down.
you
We can
thinking-
cut it there. Yeah. There's another minute and a half. We could keep going. We don't need
Yeah,
to.
I think I've made up my mind
You're right.
already.
Jesse didn't imply anything there. He didn't imply that Ricky Weeks is ready to take over. Yeah, none of that, Jason. No.
Yeah.
You are such a coward.
If I may,
No, I don't. Go ahead.
I agree with Tausch.
No.
Thank
You used his technique, his
My
modus
shtick.
operandi.
My shtick.
I'm not saying. Now, do I think that you
I'm not
started
suggesting,
down,
but I am bringing it up out of clean air to just bring it to my friends. But I'm not suggesting.
Do I think that you started down a road and you started to realize it's like, what is that place in Muskego, Haunchyville, with the little with the little guys that live in the woods, right?
Can't say I'm familiar. No.
Yeah, I think it's Muskego.
You're right.
It
is.
Yeah,
but
right.
I've never done my research on it.
Well, when I was in high school, my good buddy Marshall Sorensen lived in Muskego. We went down that road, and I was immediately regretting it. Even though I don't believe in it, it's got the no trespassing signs. I figure it's the stuff of legend. I think the Milwaukee Record did a good piece on it. But I regretted going down that road. And I think that is what happened to you on the program yesterday and with your conversation. What I'm amazed by is that after perhaps regretting it for the death stares you received in your friendship group, you then brought it up again and re-experienced the instant pangs of regret. And then you were looking for the off-ramp to off of Haunchyville Road.
He did. Off-Rampsville. No question.
Just because I'm asking the question about when we ask the question does not mean I am asserting anything in particular.
And you have a waiting in replacement manager lined
that was
up
what
already.
pushed me over the edge. When you brought up the manager in waiting.
I think us as Wisconsin,
I didn't even know that was true.
As Wisconsin sports fans, I think it has been a characteristic of people, even maybe of a certain generation under a certain age, my age, where one of the gut reactions when things are going poorly is fire the coach. And that's happened with the Bucks several times. And it's happened with calling for the defensive coordinator over the years, or Matt LaFleur.
Sometimes that was justified.
Matt LaFleur was being questioned a year and a half ago as Jordan
Craig
Love
Counsell
was
was never questioned once to be fired.
He
wasn't.
Near the end.
You never, hey, Jesse, you never implied in the 6 years you've been doing this show, boy, if Craig Counsell, the offense is doing pretty bad, should we fire you? Not one time did I hear you do my shtick on Craig Counsell. Not once.
Yeah. Fickle, it happened a year and a half into his tenure. Middle of last season, people started questioning if this is going to work.
That was Evan Cohen. Tried to get me to say.
There's a lot of people who have been having that debate. Greg Gard, it's literally every game. Every game is a statement on whether Greg Gard should be the head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers moving forward.
Can I interrupt you for a second? And then we'll continue this debate after Tausch tells us about Pella, because there's no debate about Pella. Is it possible, though, and you're criticizing this culture of the fire the coach knee-jerk reactionary behavior, and now you fed into it by suggesting that somehow there is a failure by the fans to be questioning Pat Murphy because we all like Pat Murphy. And you feel he should be under a greater scrutiny and microscope, like many fans do to other coaches, where people eventually go and say, they got to fire this guy. Time to promote Ricky Weeks.
I took a sociology class when I was in college.
Spare me the sociology. You can tell us about it next. I've got a private text that is not helping your cause from a source that was at said event.
Oh God!
They were there in person? Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. And you better not wait. When it comes to Pella windows and doors, there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now. Just like Jesse wants Pat Murphy fired, right now you need to get moving, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set your free in-home consultation, and you commit to nothing at this point, just like Jesse's not committing to Pat Murphy's tenure as the manager. They'll listen to your vision, Ricky Weeks, and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions to apply. The deal ends May 31st. Hopefully Pat will still be there. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. So, Jesse, I have said numerous times, I always wondered why, when the Brewers' golden age of baseball, which has probably been 18 through last year, and hopefully this year, but we'll see. I've always wondered, why do we not have the expectations that we have for some other teams? And it's the lighter market and the fact that we don't have the money. And I always felt like we're almost giving excuses to why we can't advance in the postseason. I thought that was fair criticism. I think this is unfair criticism by you. Jason, we have someone coming up that was in this group listening to Jesse espouse what his real thoughts are on Pat Murphy. We heard it yesterday on Wilde and Tausch, and we're going to hear it from one of the horse's mouths. That was there on Saturday, and we'll do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Why'd you tease it out?
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Truck drivers, the job you have today might not be the one you want tomorrow, and that's okay. At Schneider, our transfer team is here to help you if you decide the job you picked isn't the right fit, or if you come across life changes that require a different schedule or home time. Last year, nearly 2,000 Schneider drivers transferred to different opportunities at the company that better met their lifestyle. Find the driving job that fits yours and your family's needs. Apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Start your summer with a spotless ride at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Hey, it's Brad Nortman from KBN. This Memorial Day, Tsunami Express Car Wash is offering an incredible deal. From May 19th to May 26th, get your first month of any membership plan for just $10. Plus, unlock access to the Member Fast Lane. And of course, use Tsunami Express's free amenities, including vacuums and mat cleaners. This Memorial Day sale is only available May 19th through May 26th. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at TsunamiExpress.com/Memorial Day.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
way you expected?
I can't wait until we get after the rest of our team for not opening their food during our team meeting yesterday, like I did. But I guess we'll save that one for later.
I feel like Jesse's getting a little ornery now because we're kind of.
I bet you my dad's not enjoying today's show.
Yeah, he's probably not. That's probably.
All right. Without further ado, we have a source.
What year Rose Bowl shirt is that? What year is that?
2011.
Rose Bowl was.
Yeah. I just got done working out, and because I'm a big fitness guy, and my shirt was all sweaty. No,
hey, I'm glad
really.
you got a Brewers hat on.
I also wanted to put on. I don't know what this is.
Somebody on this show should support.
Got this at the local Goodwill for $1.99, brand new.
Yeah.
I don't know
Jesse's
when they wore these.
Brewers stuff today after that debacle.
I'm assuming that Pat Murphy will be having a rummage sale once Jesse gets him fired. There'll be lots of stuff available.
I was literally wearing Brewers stuff yesterday when we did this the first time.
No, I know. We commented on that.
Not a bandwagon fan. I don't just wear it when they win.
All right, let's welcome in someone who was there
on site for this. People are saying
first-hand knowledge.
Yes.
Or first ear knowledge, if you will. Joining us now, he is the producer of Jim Matt and Molly, which you can hear on ESPN Madison every day from 4 until 6. I appear with them regularly, including, I believe, today. It is Ryan Wollersheim on Wilde and Tausch. Ryan, tell us your truth about Jesse's calls for Pat Murphy to experience far greater scrutiny than he has been receiving as the Brewers manager.
That's probably a fairer way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. So let me set it up first that we are at a birthday party for a fellow teammate at a
Pablo Iglesias
simulator.
Yeah, the big Pablo birthday bash. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We are there trying to enjoy our teammate's birthday. And unfortunately, at this point, the Brewers have just gone down 6-0 to the Twins. And we have to talk about how poorly the Brewers are playing.
Tough night.
And Jesse, seeing the opportunity, had to just step in and say, guys, I'm not saying, but people are saying we might need to have a conversation about Pat.
People are saying.
I did not say that.
People are saying. People. No, you said you were golfing earlier that day with friends, and they brought it up. And then we were like, that's ridiculous. Wow. We shouldn't even have the conversation. In usual situations like this, when Jesse does this sort of thing, I just acknowledged it was stupid and then walked away because I didn't want to get in the conversation. But
very rude.
It's a good policy.
I could tell Jesse truly believed this because the giddiness he had when bringing it up, just being like, oh, do I have an opportunity to stir it up here with these people? Do I have an opportunity to put, just like Tausch said, putting all the pressure on vague outside sources that we don't know who they are, who are really just Jesse watching the Brewers game earlier that day or last night. Yes, Jesse. So I can't say Jesse lied with what he said about how he brought it up, but we all know what he's doing when he's doing this.
His intent.
Wow.
His intent.
Yes. Yeah.
More like Lion Wollersheim.
Oh. Wow. Little producer crime going on.
Snap.
I like it.
No kidding.
Wow.
No, yeah. I could tell this was his idea because he actually cited sources of being like, we did it with Ned Yost back in 2008. I mean, maybe this is the natural order of things. I mean,
so
he's bringing up like
he's thinking.
He's thinking about his argument.
Yes. All right, if you want to accuse me of stirring things up because I brought this up, guilty. Yes, I stirred it up a little bit. I wanted to see what the reaction would be when I brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I am not guilty of asserting that I think the thing that the Brewers need to do to fix the season is fire Pat Murphy. I did not say that. I don't think anybody is saying that. I'm wondering simply why there isn't even a question about it compared to... No, I didn't, and that's where he's lying. I didn't say... I said, do we need to have a conversation? Is what the same way I presented it the same way I presented it on the show yesterday is how I presented it on Saturday night at Pablo's birthday bash.
All right, so Jesse, we're going to put a bow on this.
No, we're going to ask Evan Cohen about this.
Well, no, for sure we will. But I think, and Wooly, correct me if I'm wrong since you were there, I think what Jesse wants is more scrutiny, and he wants Pat Murphy's seat to not be comfortable. He wants there to be some flame under Pat Murphy's seat because what's happening has not been good. I agree with Jesse. This month of baseball has been bad. Offensively, bad. And I think he doesn't want it just to be, all right, well, this is just, it's one of those years. Oh, we didn't re-sign Adames. He wants there to be some accountability, and he wants Pat Murphy to be at the head of the accountability table, and that is what he was trying to accomplish, where it maybe looked and sounded more like he wanted him fired. Is that fair, Jesse?
I'm looking for a way to light a fire for the team, and if we talked last week about there not being
and
an
you thought
edge.
Commandeering Pablo Iglesias' birthday party was going to light a fire under the team?
Here we are. Guess what? They've won 2 straight since that night.
Wow, way to go, Jesse.
Causation.
Way to go, Pablo. Thank you, everybody.
Our hero.
Sweep the Orioles. We got a 4-game winning streak. We're back. 500 baseball. Let's go.
So that's why I don't know why you're running from it. Like, you want some accountability. You have a platform.
I'm not asserting that I think that the take or that
this is where we differ.
You want him to face greater scrutiny, and you want his seat to be something greater than room temperature.
It's fascinating to me how every game we do this for Greg Gard, and he is liked by the fan base of Wisconsin basketball, I would say just as much as Pat Murphy is liked by Brewers fans. Is that fair? People like Greg Gard.
Murphy's a lot younger in his tenure. Greg Gard has had some disappointing losses.
Yes.
And I think there's been more scars. There hadn't been any scars. This is the first scarring of Pat Murphy we've seen. The dude was everything last year. They run the table. They pretty much led the whole way, and they end up winning the division by 10 games. There ain't no scarring. Now you get a little sign of some trouble, and certain people want him gone. Not going to put anybody's name on it. People are saying, I guess.
Can we let Lion Wollersheim go here?
Yeah, hey, Wooly, I'll talk to you at 4:30, buddy. I'm good for today.
You didn't like what Ryan had to say there. Thank you, Wooly. You didn't like Wooly's approach there, did you, Jesse?
I don't think it was.
Did you feel betrayed?
I think part of the story was fabricated, which I may have done a time or two over the years. So you know what? I understand.
All right, we need to get to Evan Cohen. Evan Cohen has to produce takes, like tons of takes every day on a national show. I am curious if he has any instances of this where he had a take that he maybe was workshopping with his friendship group, and then it made it to air, and he immediately started to backpedal and walk it back.
He got scared. Yeah.
So we will ask Evan that. Jesse does not need legal representation for this situation. He's not being slandered or libeled, and he's not being injured, although maybe his pride is. But if you've been injured, there's only one call to make. Grubel offices, one call, that's all. I hope you never have to make the call, and so do they. But they also know that you are going to need their help if you are facing a serious injury. So make the call. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Grubel offices, one call. That's all. We will hear from Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Now, here's a guy that's had a lot of opinions. He's the best in the business at it, and I'm not saying that hyperbolically or sarcastically. You see him and hear him every weekday on Unsportsmanlike. But has he ever had a take that he immediately started walking back? Say that Madison is the Las Vegas of the Midwest, perhaps. It is Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch. Evan, good morning. How are you?
Jason, Mark, Jesse. I mean, I don't know if I'm the best at opinions. I'm no primetime Wollersheim, who I get bumped for, but nonetheless.
Well, he was more of a witness for the prosecution than a hot take or opinionist. Have you ever had this happen?
Shout out to primetime. So, Jason, you have to walk me through what a walk back means in this case, right? So is it an admittance you get something wrong, because I've had many of those, or one I'm trying to get out of, like as if I didn't say it? Define what the
You're
walk
scared
back
of the
is
smoke.
through your
Hey,
eyes.
Evan, if you're scared of the smoke that's coming down the pipe, you back away. It's not. We've been doing this long enough now. Like I thought Wisconsin was going to go to the Final Four this year if they played in Milwaukee, and unfortunately they didn't get the draw in Milwaukee. I had to backtrack. That happens. Jesse
Okay,
just did something where.
I'll give you a few.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. When I watched former Penn State quarterback Christian Hackenberg play for the first time his freshman year, I tweeted out immediately, this guy will be the #1 pick in the draft one day. Well, that doesn't look good. I walked that back pretty quickly when he was clearly not very good, okay? That's one. When LeBron left Miami to go to Cleveland, I said that Miami would win a championship before Cleveland would. When they came back from 3-1 down against the Golden State Warriors, that didn't look very good. I said that the San Francisco 49ers traded up to get the #3 pick in the draft, the Trey Lance Brock Purdy year. I remember saying on the air many times, I think they actually may surprise everyone. And people said, what does that mean? I said, I could see them taking Kyle Pitts and strengthening strength, tight end with George Kittle. They took Trey Lance. Because why would you trade 3 first-rounders for a tight end and not a quarterback? That was not great, right? So I've had many of those. Those are 3 of them that come to mind immediately. By the way, I don't know if I'm going to walk this back, but you guys know I've been saying all along, I don't think Giannis is going to ask out. Maybe by the end of the week I have to walk that back. Is that sufficient, Mark Tauscher?
Yeah, well done, Evan. Nice job.
Oh, thank you.
It's good.
Thank you very much.
So Jesse basically does not want to admit that he essentially called for Pat Murphy's job in an overreactionary way. What would your advice as an experienced national radio host be to Jesse? Steer into this or keep fighting it?
Well, okay. So, Jesse, if I may, in what context did you call for the job?
I'm glad you asked, Evan. We've only been examining it for the last
42 minutes.
21 hours, actually. I said the Brewers have been struggling in May. Very much so. They've been shut out like 4 out of 5 games. They got shut out. I think 7 out of 16 games. They haven't scored a run offensively on pace up until the last 2 nights for one of the worst months in franchise history. And I said on Saturday night at Pablo Iglesias' birthday bash to a couple of teammates who were there, I said, do we need to start having a conversation like we do with the other coaches in the state about Pat Murphy? And I got death stares from people. How dare you even consider that? He's the reigning NL manager of the year. Woolley just walked away because he thought it was so stupid. He didn't even want to participate in the conversation.
That's right.
And then I brought it up yesterday at the end of
Wilde was at Pablo Iglesias' birthday party?
Woolley, Ryan Wollersheim, primetime. Yeah.
Oh,
Lion.
I thought you said Wilde. That's the headline. Wilde went anywhere for someone else?
Believe me, that would have been that would have led everything yesterday. Correct. So then I brought it up at the end
Smile,
of
Jason. It's a joke.
Are you even on video?
He's not even on video, and he knows that you're pouting about
you
that.
well enough.
right.
Don't read into it.
He's not even on video, and he saw Jason's. That's great. Grimace.
Relax, Wilde. It's a radio show. It's a show. Anyway, okay.
So,
who outed you? Who outed you?
No, I
Jesse did.
I brought it up at the end of our Whoa Nelly segment. I said this came up over the weekend at Pablo's birthday bash. Do we need to have, or at what point do we have a conversation like we do about every other coach in the state? And Tausch somehow twisted that into Jesse wants Pat Murphy fired, which is not true.
No. Okay, couple of things on this. First of all, you can never walk it back if you brought it up yourself. I figured this was said on the show, in a way that maybe you could take it out of context. So what you did was you basically said, hey, why am I valuing baseball less than every other sport? That's actually the core of this, right? Because if Matt LaFleur had the kind of start that you're saying that Pat Murphy did, we would have those discussions. The Bucks and Giannis have gone through coaches, obviously, a lot recently.
Mm-hmm.
So what the question becomes, why are we treating baseball less than? Now, to Tausch's point, there is an argument that if you believe we should have that conversation, someone's job is not off limits. For example, let's just say Andy Reid got off to a 1-4 start next year with the Chiefs. Would you bring up, hey, why don't we talk about Reid the same way we've talked about LaFleur?
No.
Okay, right. So he's off limits. What you've said is Pat Murphy, who I wouldn't know if he was sitting in the passenger seat with me in the car right now. I'm being honest about that. But what you're saying is Pat Murphy, despite manager of the year, despite sitting there with counsel as a bench coach or whatever he was for all those years, hasn't done enough in your eyes to be off limits. Now, mostly Jesse thinks he is. It's a problem with a solution. So who is the manager that you suggested should be in instead of Murphy? Go ahead.
Ricky Weeks came in, former Brewers second baseman. He is the current bench coach, and he is, by all metrics, the manager in waiting.
You keep kind of feeding the fire that you claim you're not.
Put down the shovel.
I'm just answering questions that are asked of me, Tausch.
Well, because that is the premise of why we've got
Pat Murphy. You put him on the hot seat. I said that question tongue in cheek, thinking you wouldn't have an answer. You did. Jesse Nelson, just simply say, Jesse Nelson, would rather have Ricky Weeks managing the Brewers than Pat Murphy. Just say it.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. No.
Do some people in your inner circle believe that?
No. And I didn't frame this as some people are saying. I said, when do we need to have a conversation? That's how I posed the question. It's fascinating to me that this is not treated the same as all the other coaches in the state. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So here's what now happens. Jason's upset. He's annoyed with me. Here's how I'm going to win him back, because I'm going to bring up a topic that I've brought up on the show that I think relates to this in a roundabout way. The why don't we have conversations? Let me ask you a question. So when the Bucks don't win the title 3 years in a row, they get bounced in the first round, and the roster around Giannis is looking like it may not be ready to win a title. We always talk about his next destination. Why don't we do the same with Jokic? Giannis never asked out. Giannis never said he doesn't love Milwaukee. Right, so I just did the Jesse, right? Now, my version of the Jesse is actually that we shouldn't be talking about Giannis playing elsewhere, just like we shouldn't be talking about Jokic. I'm consistent on both, right? But if you're going to say, why aren't we talking about Murphy the way we talk about some other coaches? Like, did you think Adrian Griffin should be fired, Jesse?
Yeah. Once that noise started, actually, once that training camp thing happened that year, yeah.
And do you believe that if LaFleur, boy, was he handsome at the Thunder Trio, but do you believe if LaFleur has a 9-8 season, there may be a better option for this team?
Tausch has said that this is a bit of a prove-it year for Matt LaFleur, so I agree with Tausch, yes.
So, again, what you're then saying is clearly if you want Pat Murphy treated like the other managers and coaches in the state, Luke Fickell, losing record for the Badgers, God forbid this year. What happens in your mind?
Jason?
That conversation was happening in the middle of last season.
Okay, so very clearly, Jesse Nelson wants Pat Murphy fired.
Not true.
I don't understand. And Jesse's dad is mad at me because I pushed this. Jesse wants, you know this from Nuno and all your producers. Producers want to push. They want you saying stuff. Now, Jesse is a good producer. He does not force us, but he prods and he'll push the envelope a little bit, which is great. We like that. Now he does it.
I think Jesse's pretty damn good on this show, I will say.
I totally agree, and we
thanks,
have
Evan.
thrown him bouquets. We
Jesse,
have thrown
you
him
then
bouquets.
have to own it. You then have to own what Tausch is
Yes,
saying.
that's all I'm saying. And then Evan, he puts out a thing about what I said about Jair Alexander, which is great.
And
I
good
love
take.
that's good.
Yeah.
But he refuses to put out the topic that just drove this show for an hour. And for all of our Brewer fans that crush us for never talking Brewers, Jesse refuses to put his great take out on the internet because he doesn't want the smoke. Who's the guy? Who are the guys that do that podcast, All That Smoke? Jesse ain't going on that podcast.
It's on Facebook.
Wait, are you reporting this? Mark Tauscher is reporting that Jesse Nelson will not be joining Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on All the Smoke.
I'm not reporting it. I'm just saying it's a podcast that I don't think.
No, I
Jesse's
think you
gonna be
can
going
confirm that. I think we don't even need a second source on that.
I don't know. I don't know what those guys are looking
If they
for.
want
But
to
if
talk
Jesse
about
has
Pat
this
Murphy,
many hot
I'd be
takes,
happy to join him. Yeah.
If
So
Jesse
how are we
starts
going to
with
get
the hot
Wilde?
takes,
How
I
are
can
we going
see
to get Wilde back? How are we going to get Wilde back? We got to get him to Pablo's 31st
I'm not.
birthday next year.
I'm good. It was good. The fact that you read my facial expression without being on video was chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
magical.
I'm fine.
But in
I'm
fairness, it's
Not
it's
that hard
pretty,
to
it
read.
wasn't.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
pretty predictable. All right, so Evan, we had a team meeting yesterday that Jason was not at, but everybody else at the ESPN Madison studio was there. It's just the truth, Jason. I'm not saying you should have been there. You shouldn't have been there. Was the boss man there? Yes, he was. And we get our food from Buck and Honey's, and it was up at the draft. You know how great Buck and Honey's food is.
Those
They bring it
firecracker
in.
shrimp I could eat all day.
Yeah, the
Oh, my
firecracker
God.
shrimp. They
And
got
I
these
saw Pablo put out there. The pizza version of it. Unbelievable with the firecracker
Yeah, they do
shrimp.
pizza with that. They also have these little tuna crisp now that are unbelievable, but I digress. We all order our food. Jesse and I, because Jesse does the hot take of Pat Murphy right before the show ends, we end up getting up there 2-3 minutes late to the meeting. The food is not there. Craig is starting his presentation right at noon. So we sit down. The food comes in about 12:07. Nobody opens their food up because Craig is going through all of his stuff. He's got an hour. He has to hard stop at 1. Jesse is the only cat that opens up his wrap and starts shoveling it in his face. Everybody else leaves it. I have a picture that I'll send to Jesse to put up on. I took a picture, asked Craig, which I thought was kind of rude by me, but I thought content always, so I put it out.
Yep, he would
and
get that. He
was
knows that.
Jesse in the right, or are we all cowards for not opening up our lunchbox and eating our lunch?
You know what? Jesse's clearly not in the right. But I will say, is there a roundabout blame for someone else for this situation? Because what I'm gathering here, Tausch, is that everyone entering that meeting was ready to pay attention, listen, and learn, but also simultaneously was hungry and thinking about the Buck and Honey's food that was right there, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Correct. I think that is very
Okay.
fair, yes.
Okay. So while no company likes to own the caste system of those above others, it is blatantly obvious that ESPN Wisconsin has that. And there is one person clearly above the others. And one would think if the leader of all leaders opens the door to eat, everyone can follow the lead. So is there blame on Mark Tauscher for not actually allowing his teammates to eat lunch? Because if you grab the Buck and Honey's wrap or the firecracker shrimp pizza, take a bite or two, then you know what? Prime time feels like, you know what, I can grab something. Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown, Matt Hamilton show up? I assume he did, right? And Matt, all
he
on the
was.
team. Yeah.
Everybody but Jason
So
was there.
then everyone but Jason can have lunch, but because Tausch chose not to do it, everyone was nervous to be the first.
I think it's fair. Evan, I'm going to be honest. I think it's fair, but if I'm really being honest, I saw this happen with Jesse with the Pizza Hut at one of our other meetings, and it was kind of fun. And I thought this would be better content doing it this way. I honestly thought I was going to grab my buffalo chicken salad, which I love from Buck and Honey's. I was going to eat that, but I saw Jesse just devouring his wrap, And I thought, if I get a picture of this, this will be better content than everybody eating their lunch. That was selfish by me.
That is a good point. That's a good point, right? Because once you decide to be selfish and not open up the door for others to walk through, Tausch, allowing Jesse to be isolated on an island, clearly doing the wrong thing as the first one in to eat, I understand why you didn't follow his lead.
But
I
Evan, not only that, last one to the meeting, only person to eat, which is a pretty phenomenal deal if you think about it.
Well, we were very specific. Jesse's really good at producing this show. We didn't say Jesse was really good. We said Jesse's really good at producing this show. So Jesse doing
I feel like we need to lay off Jesse. I'm starting to sense that he is getting very, very frustrated.
No, it's lonely being a warrior sometimes, and when when the food is in our office is full of sickos, because this is now 2 out of 3 meetings we've had as a team. One was catered by Pizza Hut, one was catered by Buck and Honey's. The Pizza Hut one, understandable. It came in, it's sitting kind of on a counter on the side. Everybody would have to go up kind of buffet style to go through and grab whatever they want and come back and sit down, a little disruptive to the meeting. The Buck and Honey's, everyone had their own individual orders delivered to them at their seat. All you had to do was open it up. So I was one of the first ones to get the food.
Jason, what did you order?
I just opened up my container when I got it, thinking that's what everybody's going to do, because we ordered lunch specifically for this meeting. And I open it up. I take a couple of bites of my rice, which is fantastic. Everyone else is letting their food just sit there. So everyone ate a cold lunch an hour later.
Wait a minute. Jesse and Mark, for the two of you based in Madison. ESPN Madison is obviously a great place to work. Is it a requirement that if you guys have a meeting, it has to be catered? Are you allowed to have a meeting without it being catered?
It's a perk.
Great question. If you want to get, it's a good question. The other question I have is, Craig's asking questions. You know, GKB is an interactive operation, and he's asking questions. And I think he had to not question Jesse because he had a burrito stuffed in his mouth as they were asking questions about core values and revenue and some of the other things. So that, I think, is why more people kind of skewed away from shoveling down their lunch. Jesse, is that a fair assessment?
So you'd rather eat a cold lunch an hour later?
Yeah.
Salad was it is what it is.
Wait a second. This is interesting. You think Craig, the CEO of our company, Good Karma Brands, ESPN Wisconsin, will be attending?
Yes.
Do you think he altered his very serious quarterly presentation to the office because of Jesse stuffing his face?
I'm not saying he did, but I'm definitely not going to say he didn't.
I think Craig is proud of me because he thinks the rest of the office is a bunch of weirdos who had food sitting in front of them for an entire hour and didn't do anything about it.
Jesse, with all due no respect, I don't think Craig has thought about you once over the last 24 hours.
Dang.
All right, we got to let you go.
It's been a tough hour for Jelly now.
I would just like to state for the record, despite my lack of attendance at said meeting, I agree with Evan and with Jesse. I agree with Evan that Tausch had every opportunity to make it okay because he is the brightest star in the ESPN Madison galaxy. And had he eaten, that everyone would have known they could eat. And I think Jesse did. If I would have been at the meeting, I would have eaten too, Jesse.
And it would have been a steak.
I mean, that
it would have been
like
a steak with a baked potato.
With the limo home.
With a stretch limo waiting on his beck and call to go home. That's what would have happened.
Evan, this was fun. Thanks.
Doesn't seem like it for you, Jason. I got to be honest.
No, it actually was. I enjoyed it.
Who did have fun here?
Tausch and Evan definitely
I kind of had some laughs. I thought it was good.
And you can have all kinds of fun if you download right now the ESPN Wisconsin app. All new in the Apple and Android app stores. Live listening, show replays, exclusive content. It's all on the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN, the Wisconsin sports fans' best way to stay in touch with their favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows and keep up with their favorite teams. Your state, your teams, your ESPN, your ESPN Wisconsin app. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
On the air. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop step. That's his favorite. And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Highlight your long weekend when the Brewers kick off a 3-game series against the Red Sox on Memorial Day, featuring the best way to start summer, Dollar Hot Dog Day. Keep the summer vibes going into the week as kids and seniors can get 50% off select tickets at the game on Wednesday, May 28th. What's better than a long weekend? Brewers baseball and dollar hot dogs. Find your seats today at brewers.com.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Discover an unreal treasure this May at Potawatomi. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Unreal treasures this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. The summer months are all about activity, but you can't experience that activity if you have pain in your joints. QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for that joint pain. Don't just take my word for it. There's over 50,000 satisfied patients nationwide. It's truly remarkable how Milwaukee's medical direct, Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team are using regenerative cell therapy to restore that tissue in your achy joints. They're utilizing biological growth factors, things I've seen with my own 2 eyes at the Greenfield location. It's a powerful and potent way to give new life to your joints, repairing that old tissue that's causing all the pain. And the best part, with QC Kinetics, there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Give yourself the gift of pain-free living and lasting relief with QC Kinetics so you can do all the things you enjoy this summer. Get your free consultation today by calling QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Thanks to Evan Cohen for helping us with our prosecution, inquisition.
That was a fun hour.
Inquiry.
That was fun, wasn't it, Jess?
Into what Jesse said.
Great time.
All right, well, we're going to put a bow on this and shift gears in the 10 o'clock hour. I do want to just add one thing, and Chef Ed in the YouTube comments mentioned this as well. It does feel not exactly the same because it has gone on a little bit longer than this, but on this very show 2 years ago, the Milwaukee Brewers were swept by the now nomadic Oakland, Sacramento, whatever they are, Athletics.
I heard them called Oaklamento the other day.
I saw that.
That was
pretty good. And, of course, they ended up making the playoffs, and it was knee-jerk, overreactionary for a couple of people on this panel to freak out about it. It does feel, Jesse, that perhaps you didn't learn your lesson from that, and you were guilty of it again, only this time you called for someone's job, sort of, kind of, but definitely really in Pat Murphy's case.
No one has answered the question.
What is it?
How come Pat Murphy gets no skepticism?
Because they let Willie Adames walk. Look, should he have said what he said about the spending in that post-game presser? Probably not.
A lot
right?
of fans feel that way.
But right, and I'm saying for him to say it as a manager, I think you can make the argument that doesn't come off great, but he's not wrong, right? It would be like Matt LaFleur getting up there and going, well, Goody doesn't want to keep any of our offensive linemen. He just wants to keep cycling through them, and that puts a lot of pressure on us to get guys ready when he's not going to re-sign Zach Tom after the season either, which I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but, right? But Matt LaFleur's not going to say that. Pat Murphy kind of said that about Atanasio, right? With what he said. So I think there are reasons for why they are not. You had higher expectations than I did for this team, and maybe they bounce back.
I think the issue is we are looking. Last year was a complete surprise to everybody.
Yes.
New coach, kind of rebooting. You traded away Burnsy. Woodruff is out for the season. Nobody thought that Pat Murphy nobody thought that the Brewers would have the season that they did, that they'd win their division by 10 games. Nobody thought that. Now the expectation game is real. Had last season went the way we all thought, it would be like, okay, they're building something. Oh, they're struggling. We have the anticipation because some young players played really well. Were they going to continue to do that? And the answer up to this point is no. They haven't. And when you take Adames out of the lineup, all of a sudden you struggle and you get shut out. I think, Jesse, you said 7 times in a month. It makes it tough. But the bottom line is I just don't feel as if the expectations for the Brewers are ever going to be where they're at with the Bucks, where they're at with the Badgers, and where they're at with the Packers, because it feels as if we are always swimming with a 100-pound anvil around our ankle. And, man, when we get up to the top and we start moving forward, it's like, God, look at what we're overcoming. But when we don't, it's like, well, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. We got a 100-pound anvil around us. Everybody else is free-flowing. And that's, I think, the root of your question that I guess people asked you to ask Wooly and
allegedly.
Pablo.
No one asked me to ask.
Allegedly. There is just a lower set of expectations because there's a written in, and I don't want to use the term excuse because it is a reality of the economics of baseball. That's where we're at. And that's why when I say in September and October, why don't we have the same expectations for our team that has made the playoffs, I think it was 7 out of 8 years, of getting over the hump? And it's like, well, the Dodgers got Ohtani and this and this. And it's a hard pushback of anything to say of any relevance because the bottom line is it's a monster hill. It's a monster ocean for us to try and swim with that anvil around us.
Yeah. All right. Well, as much as well, it's 10:10. We've spent an hour and minutes on this. I'm guessing people would like something else.
Well, Jason, I'm not like telling you not. I just was doing your
Yep. Yeah, that's my. It's time to move on. Put a bow on it, if you will. You can continue to share your thoughts on this, but I would like to shift gears to something that most people come here for, and it's not just criticism of Jesse.
Jackson Chourio?
Or Brewers analysis for his last 24.
Come on, Jackson.
All right, Jesse, you know what? I'm throwing my hands up. You took a call. Do you want to take this call? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, it is. We should break.
No, let's take a call. Let's talk to Ron and Rome. Let's just go commercial free. Pay none of the bills.
You are such. You are. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Ron. Good morning. Your thoughts on Jesse's take about Pat Murphy being on the hot seat?
I usually agree when you guys pick on Jesse, but I don't think it's fair now. I think he did ask a legitimate question, but I think the reason people like me, I've been a Brewers fan a long time, aren't asking any questions about Pat Murphy is because of the payroll disparity in baseball. Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman are making $130 million a year just for the first three hitters, and our entire payroll is $111. The Twins are spending $145, so that's not a lot. That extra $30 million could have got a third baseman and like a fourth or fifth starting pitcher instead of this bunch of ailing older guys. The young guys are doing fantastic. The pitching injuries aren't an excuse because our ERA has been pretty good. But the only criticism I have of Pat Murphy is that our younger hitters are regressing. Chourio is swinging at balls outside the zone and taking strikes. So, you know, he's not going to get rid of the hitting coach, but these young players, maybe they're tuning out Murphy now. They might have got sick of him. I'm from New York originally, and I'm also 69, and I think the reason Murphy said what he did is when you get to be my age, you don't really give a crap if you get fired because you're thinking about retiring anyway.
Fair. It's very fair. And you make a bunch of great points, and I'm glad we took your call, Ron. Thanks. I do think that if people should be critiqued, and I know this was only a partial quote, but when Mark Attanasio said during the offseason, is my job to win a World Series, or is it my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together, I think that is hard to overcome. Because that is talking about, hey, we're not necessarily in the budgetary place to win a World Series. And as long as everyone's coming to the ballpark and having fun, that's good enough. The problem is when you lose a lot, then people stop having fun, and maybe they don't come to the ballpark. So I think if you wanted to stir the pot at Pablo's party, I think you could have had a conversation about how hamstrung the manager is, and is Mark Attanasio not giving them a chance to have a chance. And that they have overcome that year after year after year, and maybe this year they finally are unable to overcome it for a year. I think that would have been fair. We'll put a bow on this, unless, of course, we get more calls.
No.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Brewers lose 2 of 3 to the Minnesota Twins over the weekend at AmFam Field. But in their lone win, the game was iced late by defensive play from Jackson Churio.
Here's a fly ball, left center field. Churio on the run, at the track, at the wall, jumped up. Jackson Churio brought it back! Oh, Jackson elevated above the wall, and he pulled back the home run.
The Brewers enter this week in 4th place in the NL Central, looking to start to climb their way out. They're at home for a 3-game set against the Baltimore Orioles, Monday through Wednesday.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Breston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Was Bulaga on today? Begins at 10:17 Central Daylight Time. Tausch, I do want to get into Matthew Golden's got his contract done. It is fully guaranteed. It is the most on an average per year of any of the wide receivers. There are 4 others that are working to try and get second contracts from this team, 2 of whom are in the final years of their rookie deals.
But so everybody's going to be unhappy about that in that room.
Some might say. We'll get to that coming up. But there is another NFL meeting today. It is in Minneapolis, which is not the same as the Breakers in Palm Beach. And they're going to vote on an altered Tush push proposal from the Packers. Now, first of all,
are they going to be a hammy crammy or what? What's the alteration?
So,
thank you. Thanks, Kay. I appreciate somebody laughing.
They have updated the language. They have submitted a revision. It now reads, offensive players cannot assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. Packers also eliminated the phrase immediately at the snap in the updated language. So basically what I think is occurring here, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you said this when we first started having this conversation, is that the rule used to be you couldn't help a runner. Period.
Yeah.
As an offensive lineman, you couldn't ram into him from behind.
Matt Leinart, South Bend, way back in the day.
Yes. And I remember reading about this as there were discussions that rule stopped being enforced because it was too difficult to be enforced. And then the tush push comes along, and it is so blatantly obvious what's occurring that it reignited this debate. Do you think that by changing the language, so now Mark Tauscher could not grab on to a stumbling, bumbling, fumbling Amon Green and carry him into the end zone, by folding this all together into no non-ball carrier can help the ball carrier into the end zone, that this will pass and the tush push brotherly shove will be dead?
It's going to die. We knew it was going to die the moment Roger Goodell called up Mark Murphy and said, hey, Mark, hey, man, we got you the draft. We're helping a lot of stuff. I need you here to be, what did you call yourself, Jesse? The lonely warrior? What did you say?
That's a Mike McCarthyism. It's lonely sometimes being a warrior.
Yeah, but he called himself. He monikered.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he took it.
I was a lonely warrior eating lunch during the meeting.
Jesse is a
when no one
lonely
else would.
warrior in hour one and wolfing down a burrito. The Packers were the lonely warrior, but make no mistake about this. Roger Goodell had the same thoughts that I had watching that NFC Championship game this year, where the ref literally got up and said, "Okay, boys, if you don't stop doing that, we are going to award a touchdown for the Philadelphia Eagles." And the point spread and the over-under. The whole thing was so ridiculous. And I think when you see that and it plays out in front of 70 million people, you probably are looking at it like, all right, we got a problem here. And then you look at it, it's not a real aesthetically pleasing play. You saw it in the AFC championship game as well, where it's not entertaining. It's, for the most part, a predetermined result. And I know people say, everybody don't have to. Fair, get it, but it's over. I don't think the rule states what you just said. Go back to quarterback sneaking, doing that. This rule, I do believe Roger Goodell will get this done. I think he's finally got the votes. That's why they tabled it at the last owners
You don't
meeting.
have the votes. Ha, 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 ha.
They will get this done, and I think the league will be better for it because they're being preemptive with an injury thing, but that's not why they're doing this. They're doing it because it is a boring play, and they're doing it because it's you cannot have what we saw at the end of the NFC Championship. You can't bring that into any equation. It's bad for everybody, and especially it's bad for the gamblers and the people that are driving some of that revenue. It's all just it's not a problem that the NFL wants to have to deal with down the road. So Philadelphia will pout about it. They'll cry about it. Fine. Green Bay will take the brunt of it. Great. But eventually it'll all just go away.
Until they see each other on November 10th, right?
At that point, it'll just be old. Whatever.
Yeah, you don't think Nick Sirianni will want to shove it up there? Tush?
No, he will, but he's not going to be able to tush push or hammy crammy. There ain't going to be any of that. You know what they can do? They can run what Tucker Kraft does. Bring in Dallas Goedert in motion and just run a quarterback sneak. You can do that.
Yeah, you can. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get into Matthew Golden. My story about Zach Tom has gotten a fair amount of attention, which, of course...
really nice. And you haven't backed off that smoke. You're taking that smoke.
And again, we'll get into that coming up, but I feel like they're the ones who created the fire. The team is.
We didn't start the fire?
No, we didn't.
It's always been burning? Since the Philadelphia playoff game?
Apparently.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. And so, look, it's an issue. We'll get into it coming up. One issue we don't have is with American Family Insurance. They have been with us from the beginning. We're coming up on our 9th anniversary, and they have been there. We have been under their roof from the very start.
We have American Family Insurance, proud partner of Wilde and Tausch, and for almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
We'll talk a little bit about Matthew Golden's contract next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, it's John Reeds from Great Midwest Bank. Looking to simplify your everyday banking? Our checking and savings accounts offer the tools you need, plus the friendly, simply local service you deserve. Enjoy competitive rates, 24/7 online and mobile banking, and real people ready to help right here in your community. Whether your checking balance is at midnight or stopping by one of our branches at noon, Great Midwest Bank has you covered with a variety of new and improved account options designed for your unique needs. Great Midwest Bank, simply local and member FDIC.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Gabe Neitzel.
If you're trading a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's going to require a lot in return. Whoever you trade Giannis to, it's going to be tough for them not to have to give up a lot to the point where, we can just now plug and play and still not have other roster holes to fill. Kind of like the Lakers have some roster holes to fill, even though they just traded for Luka. Here's the thing. Because they don't control their own picks until 2031, you kind of want young players. Because if I trade Giannis to, let's say, the Houston Rockets, that's been a team that's been rumored. If I trade him to, I don't want Houston's picks in return. Those aren't going to be very good to me, which is why there's been speculation that the New Orleans Pelicans could get involved as a third team because they control Bucks first-round picks for the next handful of years, dating back to a Drew Holiday trade that they made a number of years ago to get Holiday to the Bucks. So there's some maneuverability around, but the Bucks are going to need young players and they're going to need picks in return.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
$17.575 million fully guaranteed. That is the contract of first-round pick Matthew Golden, an average of $4.394 million per year. For those of you who are curious, as I was, so I started looking it up, Romeo Doubs hit this escalator from the NFL's Proven Performance Program. His salary for this year is $3.4 million. Christian Watson, last year of his deal, $1.965 million. Jaden Reed, year 3 of his 4-year deal, $1.403 million. And Dontavion Wicks, third of his 4-year deal, $1.03 million in base salary this season. Tausch, you're the one who's been in a locker room as a player for 11 years. You always say that guys want to see other guys get paid, and a rising tide lifts all boats. Is there any way, and I did not write it this way because, like Jesse calling for Pat Murphy's job, I did not want the smoke of me writing it as, oh, there's going to be some green-eyed monster jealousy in that wide receiver room that Matthew Golden's got his $17 million fully guaranteed and all these guys face uncertain futures. But that's kind of the undercurrent I wondered about. Is that an issue? Or am I crazy to even contemplate it causing any sort of consternation?
No, I don't think none of those guys are looking at it and saying, boy, I want that. I'd love that deal.
No.
Those guys
agreed.
are all looking at it. All those guys are looking at it saying, all right, it's great, but I want to get the second deal. Everybody knows that the rookie scale and how it's set, it is what it is.
Uh-huh.
And it's getting the clock started and getting your production up so that you are someone that the organization values enough to give a second deal to.
Mm-hmm.
So is there going to be jealousy about this rookie contract? There'll be some chops being busted and some lunches and dinners that will need to be bought by Golden, but that is not what the goal is for these guys. Now, if Romeo Doubs got a 3-year, $65 million deal, all of a sudden then Christian Watson's looking and saying, well, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be gone.
Right.
And Jaden Reed's probably looking at it like, I don't know. That's more where you get that. And it's going to come now more in the form of opportunities. Because all of these players understand the economics of how football is going to be played. And they understand if I have 12 drops again and I'm not consistent, and if I miss 3 practices in a game because I'm not happy about my role, I'm probably not going to get that deal that I'm looking for. So I would argue that, yeah, it's nice that Matthew Golden got that deal, and is there any jealousy about that? You're going to be surprised, but my answer is no. That's not what their goal is. Their goal now, if Matthew Golden gets slotted in as the number 1 wideout and gets 150 targets, and these guys all get 40, then you best believe there are going to be some issues. But right now, I'm sure Jaden Reed is looking at it like, all right, that's great. I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to get the touches, and I'm going to get the second deal. And Matthew Golden, that's great. He's going to be a great player to kind of help continue to get me my reps. So while I understand the premise of what you're saying, I'm glad you didn't write it that way, because I don't think that's where these guys' heads are at. I think these guys' heads are right now, like the Derby and like the Preakness, they're saying, how can I position myself that I can cross that line and get that wreath of roses, a.k.a. big money in my second deal, because I need to get to that finish line, which is this season, with a really good, consistent year. And the only way to do that is by training and doing it, not about worrying about a Matthew Golden contract.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I think they all have their sights set on something more than a $17 million contract. I totally agree.
Yes.
It does make him the highest paid wide receiver on their roster. And money is respect. And it does not appear that either of the guys that are in the final year of their contracts, Watson because of his injury, Dobbs because of last year and maybe the concussion factor and everything else, they're not getting extensions before the season's over. Would you agree?
I would agree.
And then you have Reed and Wicks, who are not eligible for extensions yet. But I keep going back to something that Jason Vrabel said last year to us. We'll know who the number 1 wide receiver is when someone gets paid. And those 4 guys, at least in my opinion, are vying for 1 contract. I don't know if after drafting Matthew Golden that 2 of those 4 will get extensions or get new deals. And Savion Williams, correct. So, and look, we talked about this after it happened. I didn't love the fact that Drew Rosenhaus chose to put it out there via Adam Schefter, and I think he ultimately realized that it was a mistake in judgment, that it's great that it looked like he was fighting for his guy, but it made his guy look bad, and you shouldn't do that as an agent. But I don't know about you. I didn't have any problem with Jayden Reed wanting clarification on how they view him. I think that's a reasonable thing to want. I'm not sure I want it out there publicly that I wanted it.
You know what? And that was my point when Jesse soundgraphed me and put me up on social media. It was, I don't have a problem with you. No, I don't mind.
No, I do.
Put that out,
I do.
Oh, when you put that out into the world, where I don't have, like I told you when we had this discussion, and I always go back to my daughter, who is a philosopher at heart, where it's feel your feelings. I don't have a problem in the world with Jayden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Christian Watson's dad, whomever, to feel your feelings. That's great. Embrace that, use that, and then go about your business. But when Drew Rosenhaus put that out there, it made it seem a little whiny, and that's not going to do anybody any good. It was more, all right, it wasn't as if Jayden Reed saying, well, I'm not coming in if I don't get any money. Well, he's not eligible.
Right.
Romeo Doubs, if Romeo Doubs tells the Packers, I'm not coming in until you get a new deal, they'll be like, all right, great, deuces, B.
I'm still not sure he's there, by the way.
Oh, he's not at camp.
I don't know. I don't know that.
Well, can we find that out?
Well, we have a little over a week to go before we get to go to our first OTA practice.
Why don't you place a gentle text to somebody and get some answers for us?
I've already done that once. I did not get a reply. I think it's because if he's not there, I should frame it the way you like me to frame those questions. If you don't reply, I'll assume Romeo's not at the off-season program.
Just ask him to turn his location services on. And then you can see him on your little map if he's
Well, let me ask you this,
or not.
because you sleuthed, you matlocked, I don't know the other
Kathy
great
Bates.
detectives. Hunter.
Murder, She Wrote, Jessica, whatever her name was.
Lansbury. Did you see any photos of Romeo Doubs on Evan Siegel's film role in the Packers OTAs?
No.
So Romeo Doubs can feel his feelings, but you did see Jayden Reed, correct?
We did, yep. And they have talked about Jayden Reed's presence.
But they have not talked about Romeo's.
No, now in fairness, no one asked about Romeo.
Wow.
Okay, that's fair.
That's on us.
That would be an interesting storyline if that is where Romeo's at, because we've seen this movie before. Jayden Reed, I thought after that you heard the coaches discuss his leadership. He's bulked up. That's all we really care about, is that they're working to get better and wanting to improve. All of the other stuff, again, doesn't need to be public, doesn't need to be known.
Mm-hmm.
But you better be there and you better be working. And I think Romeo's at the point where he's probably, if he is not at camp.
Again, I don't know this for certain, just to make sure people know that.
I am saying, I said if.
I know.
He's not. I didn't say
I was not for you.
Jason Wilde's reporting. I'm not going to Jesse it and make a big, bold statement and back off. What I am going to say is, if he is not there, I don't know what his strategy is. He did not have a bust-out year last year. Matter of fact, most of us would say it was disappointing. And you have to understand where you're at in your career. Elton Jenkins, kudos to you. I don't blame you one bit. Get your money.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Tom, this whole scenario is really goofy. I don't know what the heck's going on. I think Green Bay is preemptively trying to get him to not hold out. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. Romeo Doubs, I don't think, he would make this roster, but I think he is going to have to battle and scrap and claw to get reps. This isn't last year. You have a rookie that's coming in and going to get reps. Indeed. Matthew Golden will get reps. Savion Williams is going to be right at your heels, trying to get reps. Jaden Reed is more than likely not going to be jet sweep guy no more. Savion is. Hey, guys, that's 3 spots. And by the way, if Musgrave comes back, don't be shocked. There can be a lot of 12 personnel, and you're going to start seeing some 2 tights.
Yeah.
So if I'm Romeo, I'm looking at this like I better have a great year. I better be in there working, grinding. So, again, big if. I don't know what his plan is. I think his plan sucks if that is the case, which, again, is a big if that I don't know.
Yeah. I will continue to work on getting that answer, but I am very curious.
I would guess the Packers, wouldn't the Packers, if you sent someone up there a note, wouldn't they want it to be like, maybe it'd be best to get his butt in here and get a little leakage? Wouldn't that be a good leakage opportunity? No, Jason, I'm telling you, it is a good leakage opportunity from the Packers. And if Romeo really feels strongly about it, he should leak it. Now, it'd be crazy, in my opinion, but that's not how he looks at it.
It's fair. The tush push is getting further.
Where's Romeo at right now? Green Bay, again, I go back to what we talked about yesterday. Green Bay starts out on offense 3 wides against the Vikings. Let's go to week 2 against Washington.
Commanders.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
What are they running out there for their 3 wides?
Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Yeah, but that's actually why, right? It's not. The word wherefore is not actually where, it's why, I think. I'm not an expert in
Let's not get bogged down in this. Let's just answer the question I posed you.
Sorry. I feel like I just got scolded. It is Reed.
I thought you'd tease this out because we're up against the clock and let you think about it.
I thought if you wanted to tease.
And then you would say, I'll tell you after what the question Tausch just asked me after. You remodel the wide receiving core like the Packers did. If you've been putting off
what it was supposed to be
who your 3 wideouts are going to be. No, it's Kohler Services. It's time for a remodel,
it's
baby.
Only the second
and if you need a bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel. No interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation, always included. Again, KohlerServicesWI.com.
I'll tell you who I think the 3 wide receivers will be in the Packers' 3-by-1 sets to start the game against the Commanders.
Wow.
Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offers subject to change without notice.
Tailgate season? Company victory party? Don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Save big on your landscaping project at Menards. We're your destination for concrete landscaping blocks. Whether you're installing a patio or adding a new retaining wall, we have the largest in-stock selection ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast using our landscape design program in-store or on Menards.com. Save big on landscape blocks when you shop at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
With Christian Watson not going to be ready for the opener, in my expert medical opinion, not till November, I think they open in a 3-wide receiver set against the Washington Commanders, because we're not doing week 1. We decided to do week 2. With Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, and Romeo Doubs at wide receiver.
Okay.
Unless, of course, they've traded Romeo Doubs, then they open with Dontavion Wicks in his spot.
Interesting.
I do find myself now even more so kicking myself for not asking a question that would have at least forced Jason Vrabel to tap dance if he did not want people to know that Romeo was not there. That was a failure by me. And maybe he is, and I'm just conjuring this up with my imagination.
Okay.
I'll have to check their social media, see if they asked him, guys, as they were coming in from walkthrough, some silly question, and whether he is shown answering it.
I like that, by the way. I think it's fun.
Yeah, you enjoy that. You're their target demo. I'm sure they're shooting for you.
Should we do that?
Like that?
Should we do that when you come into the Everlight Solar Studio, Tausch? Just ask you something funny you got to answer every day?
I should ask you.
Coffee or tea? Oh, nice.
Good one.
Thanks.
You can take that to the bank. But we're not playing that today. What we are going to play is trivia. Jesse, what's today's category, and what caller would you like?
Which Packers wide receiver am I?
Ooh, yeah. Timely, very timely indeed.
I'm feeling ambitious today.
Are you feeling 22 like
for
Matthew Golden's jersey
Golden
number?
signed his rookie contract. Caller 22 for Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf.
Caller 22 for trivia, 844-770.
That's a lot of drama around his number, too.
There has been, yeah. He should have just asked Malik Willis if he'd be willing to give up number 2, if it meant that much to him. Caller 22, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 22 plays trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Want to remind you, I mentioned it, take it to the bank. Well, when it comes to my bank, it's Associated Bank, and it's because of their great customer service. I'm a Badgers alum, but I don't have Badgers checking. I want the Brewers to do well, and I want Pat Murphy to succeed. I don't have Brewers checking, and I cover the Packers, but I'm not a Packers fan, so I don't have Packers checking. What I do have is the best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. Early pay with that direct deposit up to 2 days early with my direct deposit from my employer. Credit monitoring to make sure my credit score is where it needs to be, and, of course, fraud protection. They did a great job of protecting me in that. They're there for you. It is the official bank of you. Check out AssociatedBank.com to find out more. Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes. From a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people. Their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse, how did the phone lines go with a caller 22 inquiry?
I think it is safe to say that the Vortex prize pack is very popular among our fans. The phone lines lit up, and it took no time at all for us to get to caller 22.
Great. That makes it time now for trivia.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
It is time for trivia presented by Vortex Golf with your opportunity, a chance to have a chance to win a rangefinder from Vortex Golf and a swag bag. What are you doing with your hands over there? Are you pantomiming? Are you doing some sort of like... Okay. You're going to break it? Like Bo Jackson with a bat over his helmet?
Depends if our caller gets one of these questions wrong. If I'm mad enough, I might snap this thing.
All right, well, that's quite the threats. Let's welcome in JC in Randolph. JC, good morning.
I also didn't bring it up, so I don't know why you're thinking I didn't threaten anything. You brought it up.
Well, you said if he gets one wrong, you're going to break the pencil. That seems like a threat.
What are you doing with your hand?
Well, it's just weird. It just seemed odd. Hi, JC. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
All right, the category.
By the way, JC's from Randolph, right?
That is what he said, yes.
I just drove through Randolph. I went up in Green Lake this last weekend, and great supper club. Randolph, I think, probably one of the most underrated boys basketball programs throughout the state. Steams, that is an underrated community, Randolph.
Yeah. Go Rockets.
Yeah. Thank you, Tausch.
You got it. They have a fun little, and I have not gotten there yet, they have a fun little German night at this supper club where they dance and you get all this different kinds of wurst and sausage. I'm going to get there.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I got a ticket in Randolph once driving back. It was a week after I moved to Beaver Dam. Didn't know what the speed limit was. Driving home from a high school basketball game.
Not great cell reception there, though. Not great cell reception from Randolph to Green Lake.
Anything else about Randolph before we move forward?
I love Randolph. What do you want me to say? I think it's a nice little town. That's all.
All right. Question number one. The category, again, is which Packers wide receiver am I?
Are you going deer hunting or something? Like, what is going on here? You're getting super. Are you trying to become rugged? Like, you're looking rugged today.
Oh, you mean because I haven't shaved in about a week?
Yeah, you look rugged.
Yeah, I'm going to shave after the show. Shaving after the show.
Maybe you should go bow hunting. Go try to get a turkey.
No, I definitely won't be doing that. But I do, like, the problem is it's very gray, so it almost looks like I have more of a goatee on the show, and I don't. It's all the same length.
Okay.
Thanks for noticing. JC, we're going to ask you questions sooner or later. Here's question one. On the first play, that's what Jesse wrote. That was not an ad lib. Ouch! On the first play of the first game of my NFL career, I dropped a pass from Aaron Rodgers that likely would have resulted in a long touchdown. But at least I was on the field. Which Packers wide receiver am I? Am I Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks, or Romeo Drops?
I'm going to go with Watson.
Correct, yes, in Minnesota, first play of the game.
Some are saying that cost the Packers a championship that year. That's what Jesse said some people are saying.
It was probably Pat Murphy's fault.
It was a great throw. I am the only current Green Bay Packers wide receiver who is suited up for a college football playoff national championship game. Which Packers wide receiver am I? Is it Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, or Savion Williams?
Savion Williams.
Nicely done. That was a tricky one. Matthew Golden and the Texas Longhorns did reach the college football playoff and won a game last year, but they did not reach the championship. Savion Williams and the TCU Horned Frogs did. Was it a year earlier, 2 years earlier?
2022 when they got pounded by Georgia in the championship.
I remember that.
By the way,
right.
Perfect week.
Question 3, JC. We're going to pretend he didn't say that. I am the only one of these three wide receivers who has not caught a postseason touchdown pass from Jordan Love in my career. Which Packers wide receiver am I? Am I Jaden Reed, Bo Melton, or Dontavion Wicks?
This is going to be a guess. I'm just going to throw Bo Melton out there.
Bo Melton had a touchdown. Jaden Reed did not. Not your fault, JC. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's Jesse putting the whammy on you with his perfect week interjection right before the question.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. All right, JC, you still got 2 out of 3. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing for the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag. And if the Dallas Mavericks can win the lottery, you could win the Vortex prize pack. Thanks for playing, buddy. And make sure you swing by the local supper club on German night for some Gemütlichkeit.
I have in the past, yes.
There you go. Take Tausch next time. Thanks, buddy. That is
You're
Wilde
welcome.
and Tausch trivia. The 11 o'clock hour.
They also have really nice ice cream shake drinks.
He wasn't
I
done.
love a supper club that finishes the deal with like a ice cream drink. Isn't that fun?
So are we allowed to give the advertising of it now that
it has ice cream?
It has ice cream there?
Is that our rule? Is that what we're doing?
You make the rules around here when it comes to advertising.
Ain't
You
that the
tell
truth?
us.
Don't forget to go to Burger King for ice cream.
That still blew my mind that you guys associated that. That's a weird deal. But
Dairy Queen. All right.
Yeah, that's not how you guys were portraying it. But
it was exactly how we were portraying it.
This one you may have misread it slightly.
You're not going to believe this.
Maybe.
I've never been there for ice cream. That's what
You're
they're
right,
known
I don't
for.
believe it.
No, they're known for their chicken sandwich.
Well, they are.
Well, that was quite the whopper of a segment. We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour, and we'll do it in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's a home run! But wait, is your roof ready for the big league storms? If your roof has more holes than a catcher's mitt, it's time to bring in the pros. At Avondale Roofing, we've been handling leaks, repairs, and full replacements with major league precision for over 30 years. And as a GAF Master Elite certified contractor, we bring top-tier quality and proven performance to every job. Whether it's a quick patch-up or full upgrade, our team steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park every time. You're out! Don't wait till water's in your dugout. Call Avondale Roofing today and keep your home in the win column.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. It's time to stock up for your Memorial Day weekend celebrations. Whether you need a couple of cases, a cold half barrel, a great bottle of wine, your favorite craft beer, or hard-to-find liquor, you'll find it at Discount Liquor, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend from all of us at Discount Liquor.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And so I've seen snippets, tidbits, little social media plankton floating by in my timeline about this. Caleb Williams didn't want to go to the Bears story that apparently is in a book by Seth Wickersham. Jesse, can you catch me up on what I've missed?
How does this guy get everybody to talk to him? You can't get Dick Bennett to talk to you about a book that you want to write to glaze. No offense, but you'd be glazing Richard P. Bennett.
He doesn't want to be
glazed.
He doesn't want to be glazed.
He needs to be glazed.
The more
I think
agree
about this, you need to write this book. But this Wickersham, he gets inside the Patriots deal. He gets all the juice. He gets all the plankton, as you put it. And how's he getting this book written a year later? Hey,
that's a great question.
Great job, Wick. Great job, Wick.
I don't know if he goes by Wick per se, but look, I don't understand. Jesse, for people like me who have seen bits and pieces of this, get us caught up.
So there is a book coming out from Wick, Seth Wickersham.
Not Bob Wickman, former Brewers pitcher.
The book is called American Kings, a biography of the quarterback, and it will come out this September. And in the book, as part of the promotion for it, this story came out, I think last Friday is when it first surfaced. And there's a snippet that's been shared of Caleb Williams and his father, Carl Williams, who were talking about Caleb going to play for the Chicago Bears. And Carl Williams said, as one of the excerpts from the book, quote, "Chicago is the place quarterbacks go to die."
No lies detected.
Caleb Williams wondered aloud to confidants, quote, "Do I want to go there? I don't think I can do it with Shane Waldron," the former Bears offensive coordinator.
He was right about that, too.
So a lot of this came out. When this first came out, I think the initial reaction from a lot of people was, wow, Caleb Williams really doesn't want to play for the Chicago Bears. Isn't that funny? The Bears stink. And then as we looked further into it and he did a little more reading on all the different subjects of it, he didn't really. He was wondering about where else he could go play and how he could manipulate the draft to not play for the Bears. Which is shocking.
Including going to UFL?
Which is shocking that this would all be shared in the... Again, how does Seth Wickersham get this out of people? I don't know, especially at this stage of the game. But the good news for Caleb Williams is that everyone he was upset about and concerned about going to Chicago to play with is basically gone now. Waldron's gone. Eberflus is gone. They've redone the whole thing with Ben Johnson in there as the head coach now, the former Lions offensive coordinator. And so... while there was some consternation and there was some speculation about how Caleb Williams would want to avoid going to Chicago, in the end, after one season, he's gotten his way. But also that first season, it dives into how he wasn't getting coached up. No one was watching film with him. He was just basically handed the remote in the film room and said, "Here you go, figure it out." So not the best operation for the Chicago Bears. They ultimately look pretty bad in this.
So is that typical, Tausch, that you don't teach guys how to watch film? Like, did you have to learn to watch film at the NFL level?
Well, what do you think?
I don't think that's typical.
That's not typical. And I think there were, if you recall, there were rumors about Caleb Williams trying to Eli Manning it when the Bears got that first pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it got poo-pooed a little bit, and that's why sometimes it's you got to have 3 reports. Yeah, I get all that. I'm not a journalist. You are, so you have to abide by that. But typically, when there's a little smoke, there's some fire, and there's so many insiders and so many avenues now of NFL reportage that when stuff like this comes out and there's not like an immediate na, you listen a little bit. And the Bears, obviously, it was dysfunctional. And we saw that the way Eberflus, kind of did his thing, and, Seth Waldron. It was just bad news Bears type stuff.
It really was bad news Bears.
I think now you're looking at a more professional, and, Ben Johnson, I don't know about that cat. He's quirky. But there's no doubt he's a smart offensive mind. Can he lead men? We'll find out. I don't know. But I just saw today they just got Joe Thuney a new extension. He's going to be their left guard for 3 years. They draft guys. They have bulked up front to give Caleb Williams a chance to have a chance. We saw what Jared Goff was pre-Ben Johnson. Mm-hmm. Not great. Enough so that Sean McVay said, I can't win with him. I will trade him and a first-round pick to get him the heck out of here. So the Bears, I think, are on a better path, but it shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone, even Bear fans. I would bet Jim Rutledge on Jim, Matt, and Molly tonight will say, yeah, I believe this story. I'm sure what this is being reported as, I get it. I believe it. And that's how you build a culture of losing. And how you build a culture of not having a quarterback have any success since Sid Blanken Luckman back in, the 20s? So here we go. You have somebody I think you feel like has talent. Talent isn't going to just get it done by itself. You better have some pieces around you. And you better have coaches that are nurturing you and bringing you around so that you can grow into being the player you are, because there's nobody, and I always bring this up, but Peyton Manning, who's going to go as one of the greats, all-time leader in interceptions in a season. His rookie year,
not for a
stunk.
career. Brett Favre has that record.
28 picks in a season. And I think Brett, in fairness, Brett came close a few times to getting over that hump.
29 in 05.
But Peyton, well, maybe he threw more. Maybe it's just as a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm. It was bad. It was a lot. But to your point, and look, we have audio of your guy Wick, as you so affectionately call him, because you guys go back so far, discussing this. We will hear that coming up next after Tausch tells us about his love of Coors Light and how he would never try to find his way to a different beer.
If you had to predict right now, who's finishing dead last in the NFC North?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Agreed.
Jesse?
Vikings.
Okay, I'm going to say Bears. I'm sticking with the Bears.
Okay.
Should we pull it?
I'm also sticking with Coors Light because I love me some Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold package, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp, but it's only 102 calories. And I'm guessing if you're a Rockies fan, you're tipping back quite a few Coors Lights this season. I know I tipped back a few Coors Lights up in Green Lake this last weekend. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I'm going to make a command decision here because Lori in the ESPN Madison YouTube chat, because they do serve ice cream drinks as a capper to your evening, she says the supper club is called Files.
Yeah, P-F-E-I-L-S. Yeah, I didn't know Lori got the trump card in order to put out what we cannot say, but I agree with Lori. It's a really good spot.
Okay, you said that they served ice cream to cap off your meal, and that is our standard. Like Burger King.
They have traditionally been a partner of our station up at ESPN Beaver Dam, so I think it's okay talking about File Supper Club and Randolph. Yeah.
All right, we're going to hear from some folks' reaction.
Only about 27 minutes from Sun Prairie, too. Not a bad little hike. If you're looking for a great little
Only about 27 minutes?
That's oddly
specific. I think that's
specific.
about where it was at.
Okay, well, we'll be back in about 4.5 minutes to hear some of the reactions to this Caleb Williams story. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
The people there made it a really great trip. The people in Green Bay were really nice, like literally driving ESPN people around themselves.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
The Pancake Palace in Green Bay was outstanding. So really nice trip.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your Pell experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. The summer months are all about activity, but you can't experience that activity if you have pain in your joints. QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for that joint pain. Don't just take my word for it. There's over 50,000 satisfied patients nationwide. It's truly remarkable how Milwaukee's medical direct, Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team are using regenerative cell therapy to restore that tissue in your achy joints. They're utilizing biological growth factors, things I've seen with my own two eyes at the Greenfield location. It's a powerful and potent way to give new life to your joints, repairing that old tissue that's causing all the pain. And the best part, with QC Kinetics, there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Give yourself the gift of pain-free living and lasting relief with QC Kinetics so you can do all the things you enjoy this summer. Get your free consultation today by calling QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Hey, I'm Mike with Infinity Exteriors. Over 25,000 homes across Wisconsin were hit hard by this most recent storm. And like clockwork, out-of-town roofers are already flooding in and then disappearing the moment the job's done. Choose local. We live here, we work here, and we stand behind every roof we install. Since 1997, Infinity Exteriors has helped more than 30,000 homeowners protect their homes and their peace of mind with no hidden costs, no fine print, and no confusion. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Jesse has put the poll question in the field. Which team do you believe will finish last in the NFC North this coming season? Packers, Bears, Vikings,
y'all
Lions.
Are sleeping. I feel like y'all are doing what I did last year. You're sleeping on them. Sleeping on them Minnesota Vikings.
Overestimating how good the Green Bay Packers are?
Oh, you think the Packers are going to finish last?
No, I think he's saying you overestimated them last year.
I'm just asking the question, Tausch.
I picked them to go 11-6, and I took Detroit to win the division. What the hell are you talking about? I overestimated them. I underestimated Minnesota. 100% guilty as charged, Your Honor. I picked Green Bay to go 11-6 and lose to the Lions, win the division.
You did.
How did I overestimate that?
You were talking about them, despite all the sloppiness late in the season. You were claiming.
Did I pick? Whoa! Did I pick Philly to win, or did I pick Green Bay to win?
You said the winner of the game will win the Super Bowl.
You did say that.
And who did I remember
that very clearly.
And who did I pick on the Friday before the game?
I don't remember.
Oh, it's funny you don't remember when it doesn't fit your narrative. I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to beat Green Bay.
We have your headline.
Get out of here with that nonsense. And by the way, if Green Bay beat Philly, I think they would have went to the Super Bowl. Well, I think they would have.
Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion on that. This seems like a good time for...
Overestimate the Green Bay Packers? Sometimes,
that is
no
not
question.
Jesse's
Hey, by the
voice.
way...
That was not Jesse's
By the way,
voice.
Jesse, I can't argue. I do sometimes. I have.
Frequently.
But last year ain't it. Last year ain't it.
Jacob Westendorf on Twitter. He writes for the SI Packers page, helps out Bill Huber over there. The Los Angeles Rams were on the Eagles' 13-yard line, trailing by 6 points late in the fourth quarter. Green Bay wasn't within one score from 7:36 onward in the fourth quarter. I know some of their players have said it, but we can stop with the Green Bay gave Philly the strongest test nonsense.
Jacob, listen, I'm
on
saying
Team
St.
Jacob.
Louis did.
I was trying to tell you that last week.
You were. That's why I brought this up.
I am bringing the Rams played them tough. Green Bay's offense was inept. Green Bay's offense was inept.
Is that not part of the game?
Did the Rams turn it over 4 times and still it's 16-10 with 14 minutes to go? I don't remember. I don't know. The Rams gave them a good game. I'm not arguing, but let's not revisionist history this thing. The Packers could not have played worse on offense. They couldn't.
Right, but isn't that part of whether or not they gave them the challenge that you're claiming they did?
I never said that they were bad. All this other stuff. I picked Philly to win. Philly was better, but Green Bay played a clunker. Their offense stunk, but their defense was better against them than what the Rams did against Philly. Period. Finn. Go ahead and look at those stats.
I understand. I think the point that Jacob makes is a valid one.
Yes,
because it does count that the offense turned and the special teams and the offense turned the ball over 4 times. If you're arguing that they gave them the best chance, because this game, it was never more than a 7-point game at any point.
The Rams game.
What was
the Rams game? No, wait. They
were ahead by 13.
No.
It
was 13.
Philly was ahead by 13.
No. I was going through the game book. I was scrolling down. It was 22-15, and then Barkley had a 78-yard run that made it 28-15 with 4:36 to go.
Yeah.
And then the Rams scored with 2:48 left.
Okay, great. Yeah, the Rams played Philly tough, but my point was whoever won that game, Green Bay wasn't playing the Rams. They were going to play at Detroit.
Uh-huh.
We saw what happened to Detroit against Washington. Now, all of a sudden, you're in an NFC Championship game. So, I get it. I'm not revisionist this history in this bad boy. All I'm telling you is Green Bay's defense dominated the Philadelphia Eagles.
I agree with that statement.
Game.
Yeah, until they needed that last stop. But I think the point that
at some point you get bludgeoned all day and you get put on the field all afternoon. Something's going to happen.
It's very fair. Yeah, all true.
Jason, the offense sucked. And by the way, you know who else thought that way?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur. Yep.
And Brian Gutekunst. No, Brian Gutekunst.
Well, Matt LaFleur at the on the stage with us at the Tundra Trio said something similar.
Yes, he did that too. Yeah. But Brian Gutekunst also said, we better get better in the middle. And I'm looking here. I think their draft, first 3 picks, the first 80 out of their 87, 54 and 23rd pick. Did they go defense or did they go offense?
That's just the way the board fell.
No, what? How did it go?
Offense.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Point proven. Case dismissed.
Let's hear from old Wick. Let's hear from Wick. The reason why this was germane is it possible that no one on this panel, certainly not me, because I don't want to deal with the smoke, has the gumption to suggest that perhaps the local squad would be 4th in the division somehow this year?
Well, Jesse just said that we might be overestimating.
No, he was accusing you of having done that in the past.
This is not going to happen for a second straight day.
Especially this late in the show.
Well, George will be real irritated if that happens.
Let's hear what Seth Wickersham had to say about his Caleb Williams story in his book.
Caleb had some reservations about the Bears after they met at the Combine, and he met at the Combine with Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings, and he was really swept up in the ideas of what they might be able to do together. You know, Kevin O'Connell speaks quarterback in a way that Matt Eberflus did not, and I think that Caleb was thinking like, hey, I need to go to Minnesota. Is there a way to do this? Carl had looked into all these methods. It didn't really look like there was a loophole or a way to exploit it to get around the draft. And so that kind of left the option of trying to nuke the city and make the situation untenable.
So, look, I don't want to call something a nothing burger because this has gotten a lot of attention. But Caleb Williams and his dad were right about the Bears. That's why the Bears have cleaned house on their coaching staff and hired the 2025 version, they hope, of Mike Holmgren, who was the guy everyone wanted in 1992 coming out of San Francisco and working for Bill Walsh, and the Packers got him. And guess what? They were the place no one wanted to go, and quarterbacks' careers went to die. So I don't understand. Help me understand this. Like, he was right about the Bears. It doesn't mean that's how he feels now. And what he endured last year would underscore the fact that he was right about the Bears. Right? Like, am I missing a point here? Am I being obtuse, as I was accused of being yesterday?
Oh, are you done? I didn't know. Your voice didn't tail off like it normally does. You're not being obtuse.
We'll see you next time.
What happened? What happened to the Bears? It proves the point of what Wickersham writes in his book. So I guess I understand. If you pay attention to these things, we all knew that this was the case. We all thought that Caleb was such a special talent because everybody had him pegged other than Orlovsky. Orlovsky had Jaden Daniels ahead of Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels had, now you could say, well, was it because of the coaching and because of the other talent around? I don't know. I mean, we'll find out as their careers continue to unwind how that all shakes out, but I know this. There's no more excuses for Caleb Williams.
Correct.
Oh, the O-line's not good enough. Well, they just went and bumped, paid a bunch of guys money, and the O-line should be better. Well, the coaching sucks. Nobody helps me with film study. Ben Johnson pulled a Lazarus with Jared Goff. He Lazarus-isted Jared Goff. Now with Caleb Williams, you're looking at it like, this doesn't need to be a water to wine situation. This is just let's get some wine, get it on the table, let's go drink.
It's not what Lazarus did.
No, he knows. He's mixing his biblical references. He doesn't have to turn. He doesn't have to multiply 4 loaves and 2 fish or whatever it was either.
But ironically, you just bring that up, Jason.
Uh-huh.
He's not going to go out there and catch the fish. His job now is to give him the fishing pole and give him some good bait. And it's no longer, I'm not going to just fire fish up on your plate. Go out. I am going to teach you, a.k.a. film study. I'm going to get you the proper tools, whether it's offensive line or receivers or system, a.k.a. hooks and bait and things like that. And you're going to go out and you're going to lead us on a great fishing expedition that we expect to be bountiful to feed a city that is starving for a fish fry. They're starving for it. And instead of us saying, oh, we'll throw you one big old fish and you guys scrounge for it, their goal is that, oh, boy, is going to be whipping fish in left and right, and you're going to have a fish fry of a lifetime. That's what the goal is down in Chicago.
Jesse, let's play one other clip. Do you want to play Sylvie or do you want to play Courtney?
I was thinking, I think that deserved more than a, yeah. I thought that was pretty good. And I don't feel like you gave me the proper shine that whole thing went to.
That was so good.
I didn't know you needed to be glazed this much.
Well, that was pretty good.
It was good. I believe I had already credited you.
They are starving for winning, and we're trying to give them fish.
Fry. Yeah. Jesus didn't fry the fish, from what I understand.
Did he go to File Supper Club, though? Courtney Cronin, the Rob Domofsky of the Chicago Bears, covers them for ESPN.com. She was hosting Game Night on ESPN Radio the other day, and she weighed in on this, which I thought was interesting insight as to what this means for Caleb Williams going into next season, kind of what we were talking about here.
I don't think this is going to affect Caleb in his second season with the Bears. There's a brand new coaching staff, and if you read the news story that's up at ESPN.com that has like a collection of quotes from Caleb, from his father, and just kind of painting the picture of what went wrong his rookie season, a lot of those issues have been alleviated already. They went out and got the best head coach they could of this coaching cycle, somebody who Caleb is really eager to work with. He wasn't eager to work with Shane Waldron because he wasn't sure Shane Waldron knew what the hell he was doing. He said it in the excerpt that is up at ESPN.com right now, that he didn't know he could trust him. From my understanding of talking with people in the building, I don't think the Bears thought they could trust Shane Waldron.
So that kind of echoes what you guys were saying here all
Talking
along.
to people in the building. Now, Josh DiMaggio, who I never understand why he doesn't just pot up his microphone. Because
it's the way we're set up here. Like we would have to be like, we can throw to him if you want to, and then we can pop him up.
He texts in on the private talk and text line. Josh DiMaggio, producer of Jen Gave.
Also tough to know when he's actually listening to the show sometimes.
That's fair when he's
kind of in and out.
Good point.
Isn't the big takeaway from this about how active his father is in all of it and the level of entitlement implied by all of this? If he doesn't win and win fast, will there be finger pointing? No, I disagree because I don't want to say that this is a what's the ball dad? LaMelo Lamar who?
LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball.
LeVar. Yeah.
And I don't think this is entitlement. I think this is, I'm going to be the number one overall pick, and this team is dysfunctional, and I don't want to go there. Like John Elway, like Eli Manning. And by the way, he was right about the dysfunction in Chicago. That's why they blew out their staff.
John Elway and Eli Manning were right.
Yeah.
Well, they were.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how bad the Chargers were during the Eli Manning saga. I do agree that.
Does he have 2 Super Bowls if he plays for the Chargers?
No.
Does old boy have 2 Super Bowls if he's stuck with the Baltimore/Indy Colts?
Maybe. He was that good, though.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
This one's for John, says Jim Irsay. Well, that's an interesting world to live in. All right, I think we've gotten to the bottom of this. Again, he's going to be under pressure regardless. Caleb Williams is the Chicago savior. He has to. They've been starving. I'm sorry. Do your fish fry thing again. Go ahead. I'll give you more. I'll give you more shine.
I didn't get the response that I wanted to. But I will say this: the Bears are moving out to Arlington. You're not on the lake anymore, Caleb. You don't have to walk on water. It's grass out there now.
God, that was so good, Tausch. That was so. It was like he's moving out to Galilee instead of staying in the big city.
Don't patronize me, bro.
I'm not. I'm just making a joke. Whoa, Nelly is next, and that's where everything went off the rails yesterday. So you want to make sure you stick around for
Who's Jesse firing today? Oh, I can't wait.
See you, Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, deuces B.
It's Wilde and Tausch.
This.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tausch here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. It's time to stock up for your Memorial Day weekend celebrations. Whether you need a couple of cases, a cold half barrel, a great bottle of wine, your favorite craft beer, or hard-to-find liquor, you'll find it at Discount Liquor, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend from all of us at Discount Liquor.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Kyle Brust-Norman's Ben Brust here for Grimal & Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal & Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies, they're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal & Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal & Associates at teamgrimal.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by the legendary Chris Mad Dog Russo. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Love is a blaze, I saw flames from the side of the stage, and the fire brigade comes in a couple of days. Until then, we got nothing to say and nothing to know, but something to drink and maybe something to smoke. Let it go until our roads are changed, singing we found
that moment you've all been waiting for. Who will Jesse fire today? It's Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
I don't want to fire anybody today, believe it or not.
Fired guy.
I would like to give someone a promotion. or at least some flowers.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks.
One of our great fans.
Now that was funny.
JR in
Jesse,
the car.
you can laugh. Hey, Jesse.
That was funny.
You
Yes,
can
it was
laugh.
good. Yeah, it was good.
Thanks.
JR in the car texted during Evan Cohen's appearance this morning with us. If you can find it on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Did you hear Evan throw Tausch under the bus on Unsportsmanlike this morning?
What?
Around 5:45 a.m. Not very nice. So,
I missed it.
Being the astounding producer that I am, I went and checked the tape.
Oh, dear.
And I found, thanks to JR for presenting us this case, here is how Evan threw Tausch under the bus this morning.
Oh, God.
So we're going to Madison.
If he ain't got the juice, he'll take care of his
I
mouth.
got it, don't you worry. I mean, my school did send me swag. I got to go there to
The
interview.
Wisconsin volleyball team sent me swag. I'm
Xavier
good.
Scott. No, but I'm talking about the football program.
Well,
Shout out to Coach Bielma, who's a friend of the show, been on many times.
Well, Matt LePay, the voice of the Badgers, did get me swag. Mark Tauscher, the analyst, did not. Pretty particularly bad at what he does, obviously, and hooking up the swag, and could not get us a reservation, if you remember, at that restaurant that we were talking about.
Now, we're several months away. Do you think you'll be able to land the reservation?
How many people you want at this dinner?
That's up to you.
Well, how many people are going to be?
If we're going, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Make it for 20, and then if it's less than that,
20?
whittle it down.
Couple of components there. So first, he's upset that you didn't send him any Wisconsin football swag. And he's also upset that you didn't get the reservation at that restaurant. And
Do they serve ice cream at the Tornado Room?
And apparently the Unsportsmanlike crew is coming back to Madison when the college football season rolls around again this year. And so you're going to get a second chance at it. So all that considered, Tausch, how would you like to address this?
I don't really care. I'm not going to sit here. I promise you
Dynamite.
this. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I didn't. Matt and Matt ended up getting the swag, no doubt, but we also got him tickets and a press pass that he blew off and didn't even use and/or come. So spare me the. I'm going to get all that. I'm not going to get upset about it because he's had these opportunities and he doesn't do it. And he called to get into the Tornado Room a day before he was coming to town on homecoming. I think it wasn't homecoming, but it was
the Alabama
weekend. He wants to go there. It's Wednesday afternoon. He wants to go there Thursday or Friday at like 7:00. You do the math on that. Not easy.
It's a fair critique. I agree with everything you said. So, are you going to do something different this year then? Now you've got plenty of lead time. It's May 20th.
I'm going to see if I can do less. No, I'm going to actually try and do less than I did last time.
Okay, well, you'll have to live with the consequences.
It's fine.
Whoa, Nelly!
The NBA Conference Finals begin tonight.
Would you guys agree that Evan is a lot meaner to me than I am to him? Like, and it's not close. Is that
you
fair?
guys? I'll be honest. I mean, he makes jokes about me, and they're very fair.
He predicts your facial expressions.
He did. That was amazing. It was so impressive.
That was pretty good, but not that great because it was pretty easy.
It was not that difficult, sure. But your friendship is an interesting one. Like, there's a lot of chop busting, but there are times where it feels...
Goes too far.
Like it goes too far. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think Evan has went too far, and
You have
probably
not?
need
You've
to
never
address
gone too far?
No. When?
Well, I don't know. I don't keep track of your friendship.
Well, you kind of do. You just said it.
No, I
you
only
just
get
evaluated.
I'm not. No. I only get the on-air banter that you guys have once a week, but you guys apparently text each other quite a bit. You have meals together when you're both in the same state-ish.
I think we're a lot like you and Rob Domofsky. I think our relationship is very similar to you and Rob's. You guys got some playful banter. You're both kind of in the same industry, kind of doing the same thing. I think you and Domofsky and me and Evan. It's I think, very, very similar.
No, I don't think so. Whoa, Nelly.
I think so.
Whoa, Nelly.
I think so. I do.
Nope.
I do.
Don't think so.
Yep. Nope, it is.
Nope.
Jesse?
Jesse, what else you got?
We bring in NBA insider Mark Tauscher for his conference finals
Lord.
analysis. Tonight, the Western Conference finals begin on ESPN and on select ESPN radio stations with the Timberwolves and the Thunder. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference finals begin tomorrow with the Pacers and the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Tausch, is there a horse we're pulling for now that your guy Joker is out?
I am not pulling for any of them. It's going to be Indiana and OKC that are going to be playing in the finals.
That is your official prediction. Indiana, Oklahoma City.
I will say this, and this is not going to be a popular take, and maybe I'll Jesse this, and after I say it, I might backtrack because there's going to be a little smoke. But we have to, as Bucks fans and as state of Wisconsin sports fans, we don't have to root for Indiana, but we can't root for Minnesota. We cannot.
Let's go Wolves.
Can't do it.
Let's go Wolves.
You can. Yeah, no, I heard you.
The Pacers are much more a rival to the Bucks
I understand,
than the Timberwolves
Jesse.
are.
I understand it, but I don't think. I think there's something about Packer fans that can't get on board with anything.
This has nothing to do with that.
It's
You're
totally
rooting
different.
for Justin Jefferson.
I am not rooting for a Minnesota sports team to win. I'm not.
They're not even in the same conference.
I'm not.
They're not even in the same league. They're the NBA.
There's
not in the
no
NFL.
type of historic rivalry between those two franchises at all.
Is rooting for the Pacers apropos to rooting for the Vikings?
Given the circumstances, no.
Yes.
I think you know who it's like. It's like rooting for the Seahawks with Russell Wilson 10 years ago. That's who it feels the most similar to me.
You know I'm not doing that.
They're not necessarily. The Pacers are not a long-standing rival of the Bucks, but they are the current competition rival in the Eastern Conference to the Bucks.
Make no mistake about it, they are the Bucks' biggest rival right now.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just like for a 3 or 4 year window, the Seahawks were to the Packers more so than the Bears and the Vikings.
If I'm going to be honest with you, once Jokic got knocked out, my interest level is peaked.
You don't need to tell us that. We knew. NBA insider. We knew that was going to happen.
Thanks. Well, the French Open's coming up. I'm going to be much more involved with the French Open. Can Joker
is Brian Anderson.
pull out another French? Can Joker get another French?
Do you just like athletes named Joker?
It seems like
Have we never realized that before?
Joker. Yes, I've mentioned that previously. All right, we're out of time.
Jesse, congrats. I don't think you have now turned Whoa Nelly into milk toast Nelly. I am not. You are now so afraid you're not going to say anything of any substance because
Nelly.
you don't want to be critiqued.
In fairness,
Nelly.
he didn't have a whole lot of opportunity here. This was commandeered, discussion of your relationship with Evan. He didn't really have a chance to be controversial.
I didn't bring Evan up. Jesse did. You think I would have brought up Evan Cohen on this if you didn't bring that up? And JC in a car? I never would have
Jesse
brought
didn't
any
bring
of
it up either. It was a good text. He did publicly.
Oh, we lost Jason.
Oh, good stuff.
That's interesting.
All right, well, Jesse, kudos to you. You didn't fire anybody on Wonelli. We'll hopefully get Jason back connected. I think we're good on reads. If we're not, we'll get it in the next segment, which will be our last segment on Wilde and Tausch.
This is our crew.
At the track, at the wall, jumped up.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker. It's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky. The drop stab.
That's his favorite.
And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Your Pell experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Hey, I'm Mike with Infinity Exteriors. Over 25,000 homes across Wisconsin were hit hard by this most recent storm. And like clockwork, out-of-town roofers are already flooding in and then disappearing the moment the job's done. Choose local. We live here, we work here, and we stand behind every roof we install. Since 1997, Infinity Exteriors has helped more than 30,000 homeowners protect their homes and their peace of mind with no hidden costs, no fine print, and no confusion. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. We offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. At Fifth Third, we're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Start your summer with a spotless ride at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Hey, it's Brad Norman from KBN. This Memorial Day, Tsunami Express Car Wash is offering an incredible deal. From May 19th to May 26th, get your first month of any membership plan for just $10. Plus, unlock access to the Member Fast Lane. And of course, use Tsunami Express's free amenities, including vacuums and mat cleaners. This Memorial Day sale is only available May 19th through May 26th. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com/Memorial Day.
Discover an unreal treasure this May at Potawatomi. Don't miss your chance to win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Unreal treasures this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can't get to the Super Bowl in early October, but they are not playing like a team that has those types of aspirations right now.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We appear to be already out of time. I'm back on the show. Hi. Just in time to say thanks for coming along for the ride with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any?
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler